assignment tonight was a worksheet called Solving Equations with Variables on Both Sides. And one of my students first hour pointed out that we really didn't do very many on our notes in our examples of equations that had a variable on both sides. So I thought I would just run through a couple of them that were assigned to you for tonight and help you out with that. So I'm just going to kind of pick at random some of the ones I think you'll need help with and go through them here. And you are welcome to copy these down and treat them as part of your assignment. So the goal when you're solving equations with variables on both sides is your very first step, your very first goal should be to get the variables together. You've got to move them both to one side. It really doesn't matter which side you move them to, but you need to get them consolidated. I usually move the smaller number because that means that wherever I move them to is going to end up being positive. Not that negatives freak you out that much, but there's just more room for mistakes with negatives. So I shoot for moving them in whatever way is going to make them be positive. Okay, let me get rid of this because you don't need to see me for this. There we go. Okay, so I'll just start with number 2 because that was the first one in your assignment. Remember, you only had to do the evens here. So I need to move these x's and put them together. And so I would look at this and say, this is -7, this is -6. So -7 is smaller than -6. So I'm going to pick that one up and move it. And if that's a -7x, I want to add 7x to each side. So that's going to leave me here with 4 equals 1, and then -6 plus 7 is just 1x. I'm going to just move this up here. So then I have 4 equals 1 plus 1x. And if I'm trying to get x by itself, next thing I'm going to get rid of is this 1. So let's subtract 1. So I get 3 equals 1x. And actually there I'm done because 1x is the same as just x, so my answer is just 3. If you weren't sure about that and you wanted to divide by 1, you could, but 3 divided by 1 is still just 3. So there's your answer for that one. Okay. Now, I've noticed a lot of students coming into us from the junior high always want to move these numbers first instead of moving the variables. I don't know if maybe that's how it's taught. It's totally fine to do it that way. So if you would rather consolidate your 4 and your 1 first, subtract the 1 over here, that'd be okay. I start with the x's because that lets me control which side I'm going to put them on, and that lets me make sure that they're going to end up being positive instead of negative. But even if the x's come out negative, you can still solve the equation. It's just one more place where a mistake might be made. So, so it's totally up to you. Let's take a look maybe at number 8, because I'm betting some of us are going to have some questions on number 8. There's a negative sign out in front of that x plus 7. What I would do is treat that almost like a -1 that's being distributed. So I would make this -x, and then when -1 gets applied to the 7, that's going to become a -7. And then here, -6x plus 8. Okay. Again, I look at my x's, -1, -6. -6 is smaller, so I'm going to pick that one up and move it. And because it's negative, I'm going to move it by adding it. So I'm going to add 6x to each side. Leave myself very much room here. So -x plus 6x makes 5x. And then I still have this -7. And then over here my x's cancel and I've got an 8 left. And now it's just a 2-step equation. Let's add 7. So 5x equals 15. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals 3. Oh, same as that one. Didn't mean for that to happen, but that's true. Okay, so that's sort of the idea. I want you to know there are a couple on this sheet where you could get decimals as answers, but none of them should be scary decimals. We're talking like 0.5 or 0.25 or something like that. If you're getting a big crazy decimal, probably it means you did something wrong somewhere. So if there are other ones you have questions on, please email me about them, and I will be happy to share those ones with you as well. Good luck.